The United Kingdom thwarts a United States attack on Iran by not allowing American troops to use its military bases, while Iran itself is actively preparing for a full-scale war, as evidenced by satellite images of military facilities. It is reported that while the United States continues a significant military buildup in the Middle East, Iran has taken steps demonstrating its readiness for war, including strengthening its nuclear facilities and restoring its missile production capabilities. Well, Iran has also begun moving troops and taking actions that will help the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps continue fighting even if the Republic's leadership is eliminated. But here, an unexpected obstacle has emerged for the United States. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Keir Starmer, allegedly blocked a request from United States President Donald Trump to allow American troops to use British air bases during the strike on Iran. London has forbidden the Americans from using the Royal Air Force Fairford Air Base in England and Diego Garcia Island, a British overseas territory in the Indian Ocean, to carry out strikes against Iran. My name is Alexi Pichi. Let's discuss this topic together. But before we start, I ask you to subscribe to this channel, give it a like, and leave your comment under this video. Also, subscribe to my Telegram channel Pichi News. The link to it is in the description of this video. So, Iran has already taken steps demonstrating its readiness for a large-scale war, despite ongoing negotiations. The White House has received information that Americans and Iranian military forces are already prepared for an attack this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, following the buildup of air and naval forces in the Middle East in recent days. On the other hand, under the threat of war. In recent months, Iran has been repairing key missile facilities and heavily damaged air bases, while at the same time continuing to conceal its nuclear program. Despite heavy losses in the war with Israel in June last year, analysis of satellite images shows that Iran has restored the damaged missile facilities. Satellite images of the Imam Ali missile base in Karamabad show that out of a dozen facilities destroyed by Israel last year, 3 have already been restored, 1 is under repair, and another 3 are currently being built from scratch. The facility contains launch silos that are crucial for launching ballistic missiles. And around them, earthworks and construction are underway. Major repairs have also been carried out at 2 other military bases. At the Northwest Air Base in Tabriz, which is associated with Iranian medium-range ballistic missiles, taxiways and runways have been restored. All entrances have been reopened after last year's bombings. The auxiliary area at the entrance has been mostly rebuilt, and some tunnels are now open. At the Hamadan Air Base, which is in western Iran, bomb craters on the runway have been filled in and the aircraft hangars have been repaired. Iran has also promptly restored its largest and newest solid-fuel missile production plant in Sharud. This is technology that allows for the rapid deployment of long-range missiles. So, you see, it all comes down to ballistic missiles. In addition, Iran is rapidly reinforcing several of its nuclear facilities using concrete and large amounts of soil to cover key sites. And again, satellite images show that Iran continues to reinforce the entrances to the tunnels of the underground complex carved into Pickaxe Mountain near Natanz. Also, at the Tligan 2 nuclear facility in the Parchin military complex southeast of Tehran, Iran has completed concrete construction and is now covering it with soil. It is also visible that at the 7th industrial complex TIR located near Isfahan in central Iran and associated with the production of centrifuge parts for uranium enrichment, the damaged structures have been fully restored. In addition, it is reported that it has become increasingly difficult to contact Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei, and authority has shifted to provincial governors to make it easier to manage the war. So, in other words, a kind of decentralization of power has taken place. In addition, before the strikes in June last year, Israel carried out an operation to infiltrate agents into the ranks of the IRGC and leadership offices in Tehran. After that, Iran intensified its repression against dissent amid fears that the war could lead to a regime change. Yes, a severe paranoia began there. Last month, as you know, security forces brutally suppressed nationwide protests, killing thousands of people. And, as you know, the regime accused the protesters of spying for Israel and used the brutal local Basij paramilitary forces to suppress the demonstrations, which were actually triggered by harsh economic conditions, but escalated into calls for regime change. And in addition, for the first time, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps blocked part of the Strait of Hormuz on January 18 and February 19 to conduct naval exercises. This critically important narrow strait is located between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, through which 20% of the world's total oil production passes every day. The Iranian Navy also conducted joint exercises with Russia in the Gulf of Oman and the northern part of the Indian Ocean. Overall, everything indicates that Iran is preparing for war and is not relying on negotiations. The United States is also, of course, making its own preparations, but here, unexpectedly, an ally let down Trump's ambitions. British media are now claiming that the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Keir Starmer, blocked a request from United States President Donald Trump to allow American troops to use British air bases during a preemptive strike on Iran. He stated that this could violate international law. Starmer refuses to allow the Americans to use the Fairford Air Base in England and the island of Diego Garcia, a British overseas territory in the Indian Ocean, to carry out strikes against Iran. These two bases have long served as key overseas military negotiation sites and transit points for the United States for operations far from home. Diego Garcia is a key airfield for the American heavy bomber fleet. And, as you can imagine, this could certainly lead to unexpected difficulties for the United States of America right now. Nevertheless, the armada that Trump sent to Iran is truly impressive. In fact, I even have separate episodes about it on this YouTube channel. I'll leave it at that. Share your opinions and conclusions in the comments below this episode, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like. If you found this episode interesting and useful, you can support the work of this YouTube channel financially with your donation or a paid subscription using the links and details in the description of this video. I would be grateful for any support from you. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone.